you didn't have a very supportive reaction of what I think was very courageous of Mike Pence to do for him.
What was the courageous part?
Well, for him.
Well, for him, what does that mean?
He's never done anything.
I mean, the mouse that squeaked. I mean, listen, Mike Pence was a Trump enabler for the entire administration. As recently as this week, has said Trump was trying to do good things. I stand by the Trump agenda. And he has one small area where he rises up to criticize Trump, in which he says, yeah, he tried to murder me. And then he goes back to, yeah, right. Then he goes back to defending Trump.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and murder me and my family. Like his whole family could have been murdered in the most horrific way that day. And he's like, ah.
Well, but then he's like, his words were, he chose the wrong side that day.
Yeah.
If he hadn't chosen the wrong side for 4 straight years of his administration, and it's just, his language is pathetic. His book is called So Help Me God. And why is it called So Help Me God? It's called So Help Me God because he is part of the Christian white nationalist movement in the United States, who think that this ought to be a sort of Christian theocracy, who think that the views of Christians ought to be imposed on everybody else in the country, and who is supported in that by a large number of MAGA Republicans, the least of which is Donald Trump. I mean, I don't know if you saw that Ron DeSantis ad a week or two ago, in which he practically had, Jesus lifting him up out of, the ether and saying, this is the chosen candidate. That there is at the core of the minority rule movement in the U.S. And I think we can divide the parties in the U.S. There's the minority rule party and the majority rule party.
All right.
And, the minority rule party is kind of anti-democratic on a lot of levels, kind of pro-authoritarian, white supremacist, Christian nationalist, racist. And the other one, is everybody else. Now, fortunately, as we saw in the last election, there are times when the majority wins still. And we put up some impediments to this minority party gaining ground. But Pence wants to lead that group. And Pence wants to somehow get credit for being courageous on January 6th while being cowardly and accommodating to Trump for the preceding 1,300 days.